I walked away from a perfect marriage, and I've never been happier. You know what's scarier than leaving a toxic relationship? Leaving one that looks perfect from the outside. I'm 37. 7 days ago, my divorce papers were finalized. And I need to tell you something that might completely change how you think about marriage, happiness, and what you deserve from life. Because here's the thing, my ex-husband never cheated. He never raised his voice. He never controlled the money or said cruel things. On paper, I had it all. Beautiful daughter, financial security, a husband who showed up every day. And I left anyway. I can already see some of you tilting your heads, confused, maybe even a little angry. Some people have real problems. And she's complaining about stability? Trust me, I've heard it all. I've seen that look in people's eyes when I tell them. They keep waiting for the big reveal, the affair, the secret addiction, something that would make it make sense. But there was nothing like that. And somehow, that made everything so much harder to explain. Let me take you back 4 years. My daughter had just been born, and everyone kept telling me how lucky I was. Easy pregnancy, smooth delivery, healthy baby. And they were right. I was incredibly fortunate. But the moment she entered the world, something inside me completely shattered. The anxiety hit like a tidal wave. I'd always been a worrier, but this was different. This was all-consuming. I stopped trusting every instinct I had. Instead, I handed all my power over parenting books, Instagram experts, anyone who claimed they had the answers. Sleep became my enemy. And here's the twisted part. My daughter actually slept okay for a newborn. 3, sometimes 4-hour stretches. But me? I'd lie there in the dark, eyes wide open, staring at her bassinet like if I blinked, something terrible would happen. I'd only crash from pure exhaustion, grab maybe an hour, and then she'd be awake again. Meanwhile, my husband Matt was there, physically present, going to work, bringing home a paycheck. In his mind, he was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. He was being a good provider, a good father. But he couldn't see me drowning right in front of him. And here's the part that still hurts to admit. I didn't know how to ask for help. When I tried, it came out all wrong. Sharp, judgmental. I was so lost in my own anxiety that I started tearing down his confidence without even realizing it. He felt desperate too, just in a different way. He had no idea how to reach me. We didn't become enemies. We became something worse. Strangers living in the same house. It took an entire year before I started feeling human again. I'd been in therapy the whole time, only took a 6-week break right after birth. And looking back, those sessions saved my life. Matt made that possible. He paid for it, supported it, never questioned it. He'll probably never understand how much that gift meant to me. Once our daughter turned 1, I made myself a promise. I was going to save this marriage. I was going to become the partner he deserved. For 2 more years, I threw everything I had at it. More therapy, couples counseling, communication exercises, date nights, self-help books. You name it, I tried it. I genuinely believed if I just worked hard enough, loved hard enough, tried hard enough, we could fix this. But you can't fix something that was never really there in the first place. My body started screaming at me before my mind caught up. I got sick constantly. Ear infection so painful I'd end up sobbing in urgent care. My immune system was waving a giant red flag, begging me to pay attention. The intimacy was gone. Not just physical, I mean all of it. The emotional connection, the friendship, the spark. When I looked at Matt, I felt warmth, appreciation, gratitude even, but not love, not romantic love. It felt like looking at a brother or a cousin, safe, familiar, completely empty. Asking for a divorce felt like jumping off a cliff without knowing if there was water below. From every logical angle, it made zero sense. Matt was a good man. He loved our daughter fiercely. He made great money. He was funny and thoughtful with other people. We had the stability everyone dreams about, the nuclear family, the white picket fence ideal. Why on earth would anyone walk away from that? My therapist asked me something that changed everything. She said, Would you rather your daughter grow up in one home watching two people who love her but don't love each other? Or would you rather she have two homes with parents who are actually happy? And suddenly it was so clear. I was miserable, genuinely, deeply unhappy, and my daughter was watching. Every day, she was learning what relationships look like by watching us. No hugs, no kisses, no hand-holding or spontaneous affection. Just two people coexisting in the same space, going through the motions. Is that what I wanted her to think love looked like? I want so much more for her. I want her to grow up seeing real partnership, the kind where people touch each other just because, where they laugh together, where intimacy is natural, not forced, where happiness isn't just a word, it's a feeling you can see. Matt and I couldn't give her that example, not together. So 7 months ago, I moved out, and now 1 week ago it became official. And I have never, listen to me, I have never been happier. I can already hear some of you thinking, it's still fresh, the honeymoon phase. Wait until reality hits. But here's the thing reality already hit. I'm 37, unemployed, raising a 4-year-old, starting completely over. On paper, this should be terrifying. And yeah, sometimes it is. Some nights, when my daughter's with Matt, I sit in my apartment in complete silence, wondering what the hell I've done. The doubts creep in. The fear whispers. But then I remember what it felt like to sleep next to someone and feel completely alone. That loneliness was so much worse than actually being alone. I'm rediscovering who I am. I take long walks without checking the time. I read books that have nothing to do with being a better mom or wife. I sit in coffee shops and people watch. I'm getting to know myself again. And I actually like who I'm becoming. Matt's thriving too. I see it every time we do the handoff. He's lighter, more present. We've managed to stay friends, which is probably the greatest gift we could give our daughter. She's happy. She's flourishing. She has two parents who actually want to be in her life, rather than two parents pretending to be happy under the same roof. Here's what I desperately need you to understand. You don't need a catastrophic reason to leave a relationship. You don't need cheating or abuse or lies or financial ruin. Sometimes the reason is simply this. You want to be loved. Really, truly loved. Not just tolerated or appreciated or provided for. Loved. Your unhappiness is reason enough. Your desire for more is completely valid. Your need for real connection and intimacy and partnership matters just as much as anyone else's needs. I wasted years thinking I needed a better excuse. I thought wanting more made me ungrateful, selfish, dramatic. I thought I should just be happy with what I had because other people have it so much worse. That kind of thinking almost destroyed me. You don't need anyone's permission to want more from your life. You don't need to wait for things to get bad enough. You don't need to justify choosing yourself. You just need the courage to take that leap. People ask me all the time if I have regrets, if I'm scared, if I wonder what might have happened if I just stuck it out a little longer. The answer is no, not even for a second, because I know exactly what would have happened. I would have stayed small, stayed quiet, stayed disconnected from myself and from any chance of experiencing real love. I gave that marriage everything I had. I tried every single thing I could think of. There's deep peace in knowing that. There's no guilt. I did my part, and I knew when it was time to stop. My daughter deserves a mother who's whole, who's happy, who shows her what it looks like to choose yourself when you need to, not selfishly, but courageously. She deserves to learn that staying isn't always the brave choice. Sometimes leaving is. I'm building something new now, something that's entirely mine. It's messy and uncertain, and absolutely terrifying some days. Starting over at 37 with no job, and a preschooler isn't exactly the fairy tale, but it's real, and it's full of possibility in a way my marriage never was. If you're reading this and something inside you is whispering that you're not happy, listen to that voice. Don't silence it. Don't rationalize it away. Don't wait for the perfect reason or the right time or things to get worse before you take it seriously. That feeling matters. You matter. I'm not saying everyone should get divorced. I'm not saying marriage is bad or that commitment isn't valuable. What I'm saying is this: your happiness counts. Your need for real love and connection and intimacy, that's not asking too much. That's just being human. And if you're in something that feels empty, even when nothing is technically wrong, that emptiness is telling you something important. 7 days divorced. 7 months separated. And more alive than I've felt in years. This is just the beginning of my story. And maybe, just maybe, it's the permission you needed to start writing yours.